It's easier said than done. You want to have more in your life as an entrepreneur, as an author, as a speaker, as a person aspiring to be an entrepreneur, an author, or a speaker. But there's some frustration in that things aren't coming quite as quickly or the way that you would like them to. And as women, societally, we have often been, depending on the time and the age and the place that you were born, you may have been told really the being nice is to be quiet, to not to be seen, to speaking up is to be aggressive, whereas for other people it might be considered assertive. And now I want to tell you what I have found and what I believe you will find to be useful for you in getting what you want in your health, in your wealth, in your life, in your business, and in your entrepreneurial journey. Ladies, I want a deep dive into what it looks like when you are showing up for yourself. First, to show up, most important. Then to stand up, whether it's physically, but to stand up, to rise to the occasion, to posture yourself, and then to speak up. All things I didn't grow up learning how to do or was encouraged to do at all, especially the speaking up. Not encouraged. Be quiet, be seen and not heard was the call of the day. And this isn't just a mantra, it really is a call to action, ladies. So let's unpack this together. What is showing up? What does that mean for you? Is it being present in your business, in your family, or your personal growth? Because sometimes even in our family, we're not showing up. We're hiding behind all the daily duties and chores, and we're not really showing up for ourselves. And your family, if you have a family, they don't necessarily notice that everything's just humming along, and they think that's how you like it. Are you bringing your authentic self to the table? Or are you holding back parts of your story, parts of you, out of fear and uncertainty? Fear is a big one. What will people say? What will people think? What if they know the real me versus the me they've been knowing all along, because that's the me I've been portraying, even though that really wasn't the me that I wanted to be? And we play this role. It's award-winning roles that we play, and the masking that we put on to portray this image of everything's fine, or it's okay, or I'm happy, or this is what I want, or this is what it's supposed to be. I want you to think about showing up. What would that look like in your life? We're going to break this down some more as time goes on, if you continue to follow this, as I help other women entrepreneurs and want to be entrepreneurs. I myself am a nursepreneur. I stepped away from bedside nursing after many, many years because I wasn't showing up fully as myself. The me that I was wanting to emerge was stuck in a role where I didn't have the ability to show up, certainly speak up or stand up. It was in an institution where, yes, there's ranks you can rise in, but to a big extent, you need to conform to that institution, that culture, and the way that things are done. And venturing outside of those lines would be greatly frowned upon. You need to stay within the herd, and a herd, whatever that herd is thinking, doing, feeling, how they're acting. Showing up. How about standing up? What's the cause? What is the mission or the purpose that lights your soul on fire? What gets you lit up inside? And maybe you're holding it in tight. Because what if people knew that that was your cause, that was your passion, that was your mission, that was your calling? That is a completely different direction than what you've been doing so far. You've been in finance and you want to be a yoga instructor. And they'll say, well, what do you know about that? And why would you want to do that? And why would you want to leave this other world behind that you've been doing for decades? Standing up for what you really want. Are you standing up for what you believe in? Even when it feels uncomfortable, or challenging. It's going to be challenging. Staying stuck in a place you don't want to be is also challenging. It's also uncomfortable. Are you prepared to stand up for what it is that you really, really want? Or will you stay where you are? And time is going to go by anyway. 6 months, 2 years, 5 years. And then you will have a case of the woulda, coulda, shouldas when you realize you could have been much further along on this venture, on this journey, on this life, doing what it is you really wanted to do. And then maybe even being resentful of seeing other people who did step out and do what they really wanted to do. Even if it seems a little crazy, even if it fails, but then you're going to know, and then you're going to have clarity. And then you can be satisfied that you ventured out and tried that thing. Have you not ever tried something before and it didn't work out? Maybe you bought a home in a town or changed houses, changed jobs, changed cars. Didn't work out as you had hoped it. You hoped it would, and then you changed it into something else. Stand up. Talking about showing up, standing up, and now one of my favorites, which is speaking up. Why is speaking up so important? In my book, Speak, in the first chapter, I call it the quiet years, because I was probably in some ways an ideal child in that I said zip, very little. And as I went on in years, probably as a child, I was a little animated initially and a little chatty, but I learned very quickly that my voice wasn't valued. That I felt that I really didn't need to be heard, especially as I probably went past elementary years. And so I stayed quiet. I stayed and spoke only to a small circle of people that I felt comfortable with. But otherwise, you would not hear my voice out loud. You would not have heard my voice on any social media platform. I would not have written a book. I would not be speaking up, ever, at any occasion. Not at a meeting at work, whether there's a discussion, whether there's a panel, I would not be heard. Because if you believe that your voice is not of value, or you don't have anything to say, or that you feel squashed every time you do try to pipe up, and then eventually you just learn, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. It's too much trouble. But I want to encourage you to speak up. What is the message that you and only you can deliver? What is the message that only you can deliver? Your way, your version, the way that you saw it, the way that you experienced it is unique to you. Have you ever been to a movie or a play or watched a show and you've discussed it with friends and you can all have a completely different take on it? You all watched exactly the same movie or play or show. You all saw it differently, oftentimes. Even a restaurant. I liked it. I didn't. I thought the good service wasn't good. Whatever it was. So here's where it gets personal. Think about the one thing you're not expressing that could transform everything for you and others if you shared it. What is the one thing? Think of one thing you're not expressing that could transform everything for you and others if you shared it. It could be a life experience. It could be a skill. People are looking for information every single day. They're searching on the internet for information. What is it you can share? What experience have you been through? What unique? Doesn't even have to be that unique, but it's an experience. It could have been traumatic. It could have been in childhood. It could be about you didn't speak when you were a child, even though there was nothing to prevent you physically. There was no health reason that your mouth wouldn't work and words wouldn't come out. But whatever thought life was happening, or what was happening in your exterior world with family or in school or whatever you were feeling that prevented you from expressing yourself. And if there's one person that had a similar story that could benefit from you sharing your story, wouldn't you want to tell it and help even one person know that they can overcome? I want you to think about the barriers that are holding you back. The barriers that are holding you back. And think about the impact of sharing your truth. These are the things I want you to think about. And then create some action steps to step into your voice and power. Step into your voice and power. And that isn't a quick launch. It can be for some, but otherwise it could be gradual. Because it starts with the thinking and how you see yourself and how you feel and how you value your voice in your life and the impact that you have on the world, even if it's one life that you impact. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And the world needs the impact that only you can make. Will you share your story? Will you stand up? Will you speak up? Will you use your voice? Your voice doesn't have to be loud. You don't have to be on a stage. You don't have to be this huge personality. You don't have to be famous. You just need to be you. Be your real self. And today I want you to think about the barriers that are holding you back. Really think about them. Often we point to other people. I blamed, like lots of people, my mother for lots of things for a long, long time. And I want you to think about the impact of sharing your truth. And then I want you to create some action steps, maybe 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps that you can do to step into your voice and power. That might be speaking up at meetings at work, on the Zoom meetings. Maybe you're always there at the meeting, but you don't say a word, you don't offer something, even though you have some great ideas. You don't think your ideas will be valued, and you don't share it. Your story matters, your voice matters, and the world needs the impact that only you can bring. Are you ready?